I'll be brief because other members want to come in. It's just, you know, the whole sanctions are imposed on the entire fishery fleet, yet not one fisherman has seen any evidence or shared in any information that has been compiled by the 2018 audit or the 2019 administrative inquiry, which you and the SFPA carried out. Why withhold evidence and yet proceed to punish the entire sector? I think that's there's a real dangerous situation happening here. The SFPA says they haven't shared with any copy to any body outside of their own remit as such. But then there's leaks all over the place. Nobody is accountable for leaks. Nobody is answerable to where the leaks emanate from and who is responsible for the leaks. But it's damaging good, hard-working, honest inshore pelagic fishermen, whether they be from Castleton, Bear, Union Hall, Skull, Kinsale, Wexford, Galway. There's severe damage done. And you will be aware, also, to the witnesses here today, that senior politicians have said and put it on the record, and also others that kind of has fallen out the side doors, whether it is department or where these leaks are coming, that our fishermen are reputed in Europe and in the halls of the Commission, Parliament and in EU Council to be pure pirates who spend their entire working lives ripping off the common fisheries policy, illegally fishing. This is the perception that's been put out there with the leaks. This being the case, one might imagine that the EU Commission reports would reflect this misinformation, disinformation and pure propaganda. You will therefore be surprised to learn from the content of the latest research and working paper from the Commission on the EU sanctioning system dating from January 2021 that Ireland hardly features at all. This paper makes it clear that Ireland hardly features at all on the offenders list. The truth is that Irish fishing boats are responsible for 0.8% of all European Union-wide offences against the common fisheries policy. So it looks like from the leaks that are coming out, they're orchestrated leaks, that the fishing industry is up to every sort of meddling. But reality is Europe are saying absolutely not. But we're making it look here in Ireland that it is an issue. It is a major crisis as such. And what's wrong? Where did the leaks come from? How did this happen? And can anybody, or is there any investigation going on within the SFP, within the department, within the ministry, the minister's office, as to how these leaks came about and why were they put out there to discredit the fishing industry, an industry that's worked so hard to work with the regulation that's there at the present time, which is absolutely crippling against the Irish fishermen, whether they be inshore or pelagic fishermen. And I'd like for somewhere along the line here, it doesn't need to be the minister launches an inquiry as to where these leaks came from and why we find out after that the European Union, as far as they're concerned, we're at the bottom of the ladder in relation to rules that are being broken. Thank you.
If I might, Chairman, just to offer a few comments that might be of assistance to Deputy Collins and to Deputy McLaughlin.
Is that Mr. Keenan?
Yeah. Thank you, Chair.
Okay,
I'll be brief. So Deputy Collins has highlighted the issues arising out of leaked reports to the media or information coming into the media, which is detrimental to the reputation of the industry and so on. I think the SFPA can certainly speak for ourselves, and we do engage with media as we should, as a public organisation, but we do not ever leak confidential material. And I can give that assurance directly to Deputy Collins and to the committee in general. That is not our trade and fashion. We try and respond to FOIs and other information access requests and press queries, and we try to engage them to the level we can, but we are not in the business of leaking or briefing on the basis of confidential information. And Deputy, I'd like to give you every assurance on that particular point. With regard to the judicial review, again, there are concerns here coming out of contributions from the committee that we have been less than careful with taxpayers' money, and we've engaged with this judicial review out of a lack of proper procedures on our part. Just to offer a bit of background to the committee for the record, a member of the pelagic industry wrote to the Commission to complain at the level of checks and controls and the difficulties arising with regard to the weighing of fish on the pier. And the response from the Commission, which we were circulated on, so I can talk to you about it, the response from the Commission to that individual in the industry was to offer the view that privately owned or operated weighing equipment was not appropriate given where we are with the administrative inquiry and the audit and so on. That was a point made by the Commission to a member of the industry. The industry didn't challenge the Commission on that. The SFPA found itself in an invidious position where we were trying to assess weighing equipment, trying to hopefully sustain Ireland's status of having a control plan with the Commission, and being in a very difficult position. We sought from the Commission on several occasions more detailed information on how they would take that view and substantiate it in European law. In the meantime, the industry, as they're entitled to do, initiated one of two judicial reviews involving the SFPA, this one in particular involving the weighing equipment on the pier. And Deputy, I think your remarks with regard to the quality of that initiative and so on, I think in general terms I would agree with them. I think hopefully it'll be, once we get all the matters sorted. But anyway, we were not in a position to engage in the approval of that equipment as might be required under the statutory instrument, as we're required to do with the NSCI because of the Commission's opinion. And while we're waiting for that to clarify, the judicial review proceedings were initiated. Judge Simons gave very clear consideration to the arguments offered by both sides. I did say that the SFPA was acting ultra vires in terms of not going into an approval process on the basis of the Commission's opinion, and we couldn't support the Commission's opinion in terms of pointing to legal precedent and so on. So we now have direction from the court. We're very mindful of the cost of those court proceedings. Again, that's not a matter of our choice. We do engage in those proceedings with every sincerity, Deputy, in that we're open with the court in terms of offering our affidavits and submissions, and also to hear very, very clearly the outcome of the judicial review. And we have given our assurances to the court that we will be following the judge's direction very clearly. But we're not the author of any of this, but we've tried to be bona fide actors in it as matters went ahead. And we're now in a position where I think this week we'll be looking at a review of the equipment on the pier in cooperation with the NSCI and ourselves. And we've also done thorough work on our internal procedures and documentation of those procedures with regard to the management of applications, not just for this equipment, but for weighing equipment in general. So we've tried to learn from the experience and have a benefit for the taxpayer out of the experience as well too. So I hope that helps allay some of your concerns, Deputy, with regard to the judicial review. It's a matter we didn't take the initiative on, but we certainly engaged on in fully once it arose, and we are following the judge's direction very carefully now at this stage. Yeah, thank you.